Did you know that 5 to 6% of the population struggles with borderline personality disorder, and 1 in 10 will die? Dialectical Behaviour Therapy DBT is the needed treatment for this disorder. Yet in some cases there's 3 to 4 year wait lists, and fee for service is high. Lives are being lost. Imagine this is your loved one.
I didn't cope with things the same way. I was more sensitive. I didn't self-soothe the way others did. I would get exceptionally upset about things, and I wouldn't calm down the way most people would.
Going to sleep at night was hard. I had the most terrible nightmares. Waking up was hard because I had multiple panic attacks in a day. And the slightest trigger would send me into intense pain.
It's like a roller coaster, a lot of ups, downs, but it's weird because like on the good times it's like I'm euphoric, and the bad times it's just like someone just like ripped everything out of me, and I'm just like this void, like this empty shell.
I used to pull my hair a lot of times, to go under the walk and hit myself in the head, and I didn't know why.
Dialectical Living is an organization that is peer-based. This means that everyone who works at Dialectical Living is a peer. They have struggled with emotion dysregulation themselves and are using the skills in their lives successfully. We are also professionals. I'm a social worker, and all of my colleagues are also trained healthcare practitioners. We're a bit unique in that way, in that we really come from a place of truly knowing.
Having lived experience as a social worker makes me a better therapist, not only a better person, but just a more empathetic social worker, understanding what other people go through in life.
So I feel like my lived experience really and truly makes me a better therapist. I know that I can understand my clients when they talk to me about their pain, when they tell me about when they were triggered, when they tell me about the relationship problems they're having. I can relate to them on a very personal level, and often have maybe my own stories and use a bit of self-disclosure that can be so helpful for someone who's struggling and feeling alone and not knowing if what they're feeling is normal or right.
Being with other people, and people who have the same problems as you have, they're different variations of it, but they share the same life as you do, makes you feel less alone.
The peer filled in that gap of general mind-boggling questions and just a sounding board of someone to hear you without judgment.
Just because other people around you might not be talking about the way that they feel or that they feel as intensely as you doesn't mean that you are the only person feeling as intensely as you. And other people have managed to see success, and there's no reason that you can't as well, even if it feels like the reverse.
Hearing them come back week after week, talking about the improvements in their life or how they're using the skills and the success they are having with them, even the challenges that they may be having with them, just the fact that they're out there practicing the skills, it makes me feel so great because I know what that's like and I'm so proud of them.
One thing I've learned from DBT especially is mindfulness and radical acceptance. It is what it is, and you can't change what's happened. You can't change the future. What you can change is how you yourself respond to things. It's about responding, not reacting, and that's a big difference that DBT made in my life.
I find it really rewarding to teach others the dialectical behavior therapy skills, because I see people doing well, and the second or third group, I'm just so rewarded by people coming in and they're talking about the skills and they've made a distress tolerance box.
I find validation, especially people come in, because we do validation over 2 nights, people come in after the first week knowing that we're going to do it again the second week, and they talk about how even just the first half has been life-changing or has caused them to turn a page with somebody or in a personal relationship.
And dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, can help people make huge shifts in how they experience the world, teaching things like managing distress, managing in a crisis, how to self-soothe, how to build and maintain healthy relationships, how to regulate our emotions on a day-to-day basis.
I've come to learn that in the way that you're swimming in a pool and you're in the deep end and you're not really sure about how to swim. You need a life jacket. You need a flotation device of some kind to help you. To me, that's what DBT skills are.
Before I learned skills, well, to be honest, I didn't have a life. I mean, I was living, I was alive, but I didn't feel alive inside. I didn't have a life worth living. I didn't have a relationship with my family. My friends were people that probably weren't really my friends. I had a hard time keeping a job. Basically, I had no quality of life. It was like driving a car with a crack in the windshield. And the more I drove the car, the crack just got bigger and bigger and bigger until there was really no windshield left. And that is essentially my life before DBT.
Thank you for putting words to what I'm feeling. Thank you for giving me an explanation that can help me to navigate my life a little bit better. It was just a rush of thank you.
Here in Ontario, we have so few resources for mental health. It's actually really just a heartbreak that that's the way that it is. So it's great that we have places like Dialectical Living, run by Julie Hayden, okay, to come. It's peer supported. So everybody there has an understanding of what's going on. You don't have to come in and explain yourself. It's already understood. There's an acceptance just walking through the door.
My favorite skill is validation, because I find the world sometimes makes you feel that you're not adequate.
Don't catastrophize. And that's something that I have taken quite to heart. You know, I will wake up in the morning tomorrow. I will go to work tomorrow. And I can't worry about what might be.
Finding dialectical living, that was one of the, well, for me, it's what actually set my life onto the proper trajectory. Because like I said, like I didn't know any of this stuff. The waiting times to get into this kind of stuff is months. And I didn't have months, I needed now. So when I find dialectical living, it was like, okay, cool, I got into the next course, which wasn't too long waiting time. And that's what helped me get to where I am now.
And people with BPD have amazing, amazing qualities. Some of those qualities are charismatic, highly resourceful, high empathy. So often people with BPD are in the helping fields. There's studies to show that people with BPD can readily see emotion in others, and so that leads to being able to be a lot more empathic. Things like high threat perception. So Valerie Poor, in her book Overcoming Borderline Personality Disorder, talks about who would you want on a desert island with you, someone with or without BPD. And due to, in addition to having emotional sensitivities, there's also physical sensitivities. So someone with emotion dysregulation disorder could, hear the danger coming, smell the bad food. So there's so many amazing, great qualities about people with borderline personality disorder.
With DBT, I learned the things that I like. I discovered myself again and discovered the activities that I like, which is now photography.
My relationship with my girlfriend at this time is almost like 99% better because of the skills and tools I have learned at DBT. Dialectical Living has helped me so very much.
Dialectical Living helped me specifically to validate to me to know that I am okay. I'm perfect. Doesn't mean because I have this that I am going to be crippled. I'm not crippled, I'm not an invalid. It just means that I have different challenges. And then it was just amazing. Oh my goodness, how to move from not knowing to knowing.
From my being before DBT and after DBT, it's being going to hell and back.
Marsha Linehan, who developed Dialectical Behaviour Therapy, talks about having a life worth living. And all of these skills can help have a life worth living.
You are not alone. DBT works.